creaming method uses the exact same ingredients, the exact same quantities of ingredients as the all-in-one method, but what's different is the order that you add them into your bowl. There is a very specific order that they need to go in to make a successful cake. We start with the butter, the spread or the margarine, and we put in 100 grams of the spread. It helps if it's soft spread, that's why I use this stuff, because it's already easy to mix up. If you use hard butter, it can take a while to be able to cream it, because the creaming method is as it sounds. We are going to make that butter look like cream in a second. And into that then goes 100 grams of sugar.
Miss, the last one looked like ice cream.
Yeah. 100 grams of sugar. Quiet. Do I need to remind you that just because nobody's holding the iPod, it is still filming, so that you can watch this back if you need to. Right, 100 grams of sugar. Now, I then cream together the butter and the sugar, and I beat them together before I add anything else. And you make what looks like a smooth, creamy paste. That's why it's called the creaming method. And what this is doing is it's beating air into the mixture, because air is also a raising agent. As well as baking powder, air is a raising agent because it creates little bubbles for those carbon dioxide gases to get caught into, which will push it up and make it rise even more. So what I've done there is I've mixed that up and I've beaten it up to make a cream. And then into that is going to go the eggs, just like last time. So into my jug is going to go my 2 eggs. And then this time, I'm not just going to tip my eggs in like that, and then I'm going to whisk up the eggs as well, and I'm going to add more air. Lots and lots of air added to this mixture. So what do you think will be the difference to look at the appearance of my cakes? Yeah, so which ones will be fluffier, the creaming or the all-in-one? The creaming, yeah. Because I'm adding so much air into the mixture at different stages. So you can probably, hopefully see there, the little air bubbles I've added to the egg. And then that will go a little bit at a time, Zach, into the mixture. Now I'm going to deliberately do this wrong to show you how to fix it. If you are not beating it enough, or you add it all in at the same time, deliberately doing it wrong, because somebody will do it wrong and that's fine, but you need to know how to fix things. If I'm not beating it enough and I just stir it, can you see what is starting to happen to the mixture? It's lumpy. It's starting to look a bit like scrambled eggs. It's curdling and separating. You can fix it. Shh. To fix it and stop it from being all lumpy and curdly like that, you need to beat it as hard as you can with your spoon. You could use a whisk, but shh, it can be fixed through a bit of hard work. Your arm will ache, but as you can see, I've managed to get it to go back into a smoother paste. You can see the air bubbles in it, and I've got it back to what it should have been like. So don't worry if you don't follow the instructions or you forgot that instruction, or you accidentally just tipped it all in because you weren't thinking, it's fine. But ideally you would add a bit, mix it, add a bit, mix it, and add a bit and mix it, and that'll stop it from separating. There are 1 or 2 people consistently whispering throughout my demonstration, which for me is very distracting when I'm trying to talk and look at this and look at you all at the same time. Now, I'm pretty good at multitasking, but it is very distracting.
Do we do both of the methods?
You are going to use the creaming method because it's the most difficult. Okay? Once you've done that, you are then going to add the flour. But the flour is going to be weighed into a separate bowl. Or a measuring jug. It doesn't matter what you weigh the flour into. You weigh out your 100 grams of flour. Into the bowl. And I'm going to add even more air to my mixture using a sieve, which I just dropped into my mixing bowl. Into the sieve, add the flour, sieve it in. And then to get the flour mixed in, there's a really important technique to use called folding. Yeah.
Would that be called the aeration rate?
That's exactly what it's called. What's your name? Ava. Extra achievement points for Ava, sir. Aeration is a GCSE term. That's fantastic. Some of my year 11s don't know that, and I'm trying to teach it them now for their exams.
Well taught.
Well taught. That's what it is. Yeah, aeration. Amazing. Aeration is the process of keep adding air into the mixture, Zach, to make it rise so that there's space for the carbon dioxide in the raising agent to get into the bubbles to make it rise more. Huh? So, to get the flour mixed in, you make what's called a figure of 8. So I'm making like the number 8 with my spoon. And you keep doing that 8 until all of the mixture is mixed in. You could use a spatula for this, a plastic spatula, but you might as well just keep using the wooden spoon. I find it always works well with a spoon, but some people... No, that's a fish slice. We're not in SpongeBob SquarePants. We're not in America. We call it a fish slice. Spatula in the UK is a plastic, like a flat plastic spoon. And we keep doing that figure of 8 until all the flour is in. And then the only thing I've got to add now is my flavouring. So if I was going to make them cocoa, I'd add my cocoa. But in the interest of making them the same, I'm going to add my vanilla. And again, huh? What? You can choose between cocoa or vanilla, and I will provide those for your £1.
What is special about the quantities?
Who can help him out? What was special about my quantities of ingredients?
Was it like an egg weighs 50 grams?
Yeah.
Like 50 grams?
Yeah.
One egg.
Yes. So whatever your egg weighs, you could be really, really specific. If you wanted to make the perfect cake, you could break your egg, weigh the contents of the egg, and then match the amount of flour and sugar and butter to the actual weight of the egg. But because that would take a long time and it's unnecessary, the average egg weighs approximately 50 grams. So that's what we work off. So that now is nice and smooth and all mixed in. And I'm going to do the same thing again. Ooh.
50 grams.
100 grams, 2 eggs, 100 grams of everything else. And into here, exactly the same as before, the same amount. Now what you might find, if you've done this well, is that you'll have even more mixture left over than before, because there's so much air in the mixture that you've actually got more of it. So I'm going to fill up my cases as quickly as I can, and then I can pop them in the oven. keep the mixture off the tin, because if it ends up on the tin, as you'll see when you get some of the tins out, it ends up burning to the tin and it will take you ages to scrub it clean. Well, I've just got it all over the tin there. £50 for every egg, yeah. What a mess I'm making. Right. I've filled them all. I'm now just going to fill up with the rest of the mixture that I've got. Being really careful not to over-mix it, because if I over-mix it, I'll start to squash out a lot of the air that I've put into it, and that kind of defeats the object of me doing the creaming method of adding all the air during the butter and the sugar, adding all the air during the whisking of the egg, adding all the air during the sieving of the flour, and then folding the flour in. If I just start whisking it now and squashing all that air out with my spoon, I might as well have just used the all-in-one. And hopefully what we'll find when they come out of the oven, the all-in-ones will rise, but these ones will rise so much that they may even create like a dome on the top.
Miss, if you had like chocolate chip or
Yeah.
some new ingredients,
Yeah.
would you put them in?
You would, just before you start spooning it into the cupcake cases, you would add your extra bits. Yeah, just when you fold them. Yeah. And you can add blueberries, apple, chocolate chips, Smarties, whatever you like.